to today's hot take with me, your host, Zach Gardner, Chief Architect here at Keyhole Software. My hot take for the day is you, yes, you, are not as good of a programmer as you think you are. You know how I know that? Because I am not as good of a programmer as I sometimes think I am. You know what? That's okay. It is so incredibly hard to be a great programmer. Most of us go through life thinking we're okay, and then we start to learn a little bit. Maybe we get a little happy about class inheritance, and we have 6 or 7 or 8 layers deep of inheritance, and we get to a point where we can't maintain that anymore. Well, that's not our fault. That's the fault of someone. That's our product team's fault. Or we come up with architectures that are very abstract and very dynamic that will allow us to grow without radically changing our code base. You know what happens over time? All these layers of abstractions make it harder and harder to add on features. Once you get to the point when you are a developer where you're no longer focused on how do you make things more abstract, where you focus instead on how to really simplify what it is you're trying to do. Once you lean in to the fact that you will not know everything, you will not remember everything, and chances are there's a programmer out there that's better than you are, that's, I think, when you become a great programmer. I have seen projects where people have tried to write their own libraries for parsing things that already exist out in the wild. Now tell me, would your organization benefit more from you writing an XML parser than they would actually working on the business problems and the software to solve those business problems that they themselves have? I can tell you probably what the answer is going to be. We as programmers sometimes get it in our own head that we are these geniuses, that the world is somehow more blessed to have us, when in reality sometimes we create problems for ourselves by thinking that we are smarter than we are, and we try to outsmart ourselves. It's 10 times harder to read code than it is to write code. And if we instead started thinking more about the developer that follows us and complaining less about the developer that preceded us, if we start thinking more about how we have shortcomings, accept that we have shortcomings, and figure out, is there a library out there that is doing what I'm trying to do better, that has been battle tested by other developers, that has been unit tested, that has been proven to work? And could I use that library instead of whatever abstraction that I'm trying to do to be able to accomplish the business problems and overcome them for the things that I'm actually being paid for, rather than trying to invent my own solutions to them? If we spent more time doing that, imagine how many more problems we could solve. Imagine how many more lives we could make better simply by accepting the fact that we are not automata. We are humans. We have shortcomings. And you, yes, you, might not be as good of a developer as you think you are. If you can accept that, if you can lean into that, my oh my, how much better the world would be for software. And I know that from personal experience because I am never as good of a developer as I think I am. I look at code that I wrote 6 months ago and I do a git blame, and guess what? I am the fool that has always written that. So that's my hot take for the day. If you agree with me, send me a comment, send me a DM. If you disagree with me, scan the QR code and let me know why you are in fact the greatest developer ever, because I can almost guarantee you, you're probably not. And that's okay. Lean into that. Accept the fact that we are humans, that we have faults. How do we make better software for end users? By solving their problems and not trying to invent our own.